Hey everybody, Toy Bears here again, and I'm joined with
Russ
and
Jay.
And in this movie of Movie Grade, we're going to be discussing Suicide Squad. And I think we'll break it down to pros and cons, okay? We'll go with pros first. And I'll say, for one thing, I think this movie, believe it or not, I think this is the best DC movie, DCEU or whatever they call it, Extended Universe or Cinematic Universe, I think this is the best DC movie so far. But that's not much saying very much.
No.
That's not saying much at all. But I can see that DC is on the right direction. So, agree, disagree?
I do agree with that. What I will say is essentially, if you're going to see Suicide Squad, you are getting what you're going in to see. And by the way, the one who plays Amanda Waller, Viola Davis, she does a fantastic job as Amanda Waller. I enjoyed Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn very, very much. And obviously Will Smith did fine as Deadshot, and most of the rest of the cast, played Captain Boomerang, Rick Flag, they all did just fine with their parts. So again, you're going in for Suicide Squad, you are getting that, and those are the pros without a doubt.
Jay?
Yeah, I enjoyed Suicide Squad. Yeah, obviously what Tony said was the best one so far, but like I said, it's not really saying much after Man of Steel and Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice. Though I enjoyed Ben Affleck as Batman in this movie. That was very exciting. Though I enjoyed him in Batman vs. Superman as well. I just enjoyed the movie overall. I mean, there was a lot of good things I enjoyed. Like, the action was really well done. CG was well done. A lot of stuff was really well done in the movie. I like Will Smith. I've always liked Will Smith since I used to watch Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Margot Robbie, I really enjoyed her. I really liked the accent she did. I enjoyed Jared Leto as the Joker. I know Russell's going to disagree, but I'll let him say that. But the most iconic part in that movie they did was that mad love scene, even though it was a hallucination, like where you see her wearing like the diamond outfit with the jester hat, and him wearing like that white makeup. I felt that was a really iconic scene, even though it was only a hallucination or a dream sequence or whatever it was. But it was so eye-catching. I'm like, wow, they actually did something like that in the movie. Like I said, I enjoyed the movie overall.
I said, I think this is a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
I did enjoy Will Smith for what he was doing. I mean, he's basically playing Will Smith being Will Smith, so it's not really an acting stretch. He wasn't really playing Deadshot as much.
He wasn't being a comedy like he did in Fresh Prince. He was being Will Smith.
I felt that he brought enough comedy. Not so much comedy as more of his Will Smith's charm to the role, and I think he did have enough comedy to lighten it up. But I'm gonna have to say the cons, for me at least, outweighed the pros, unfortunately. And so, what is your cons there, Russell?
Alright, well, first of all, Jay brought up about Jared Leto's Joker. Here's my issue with that. First of all, you could literally have taken every scene of the Joker out of the movie. No one would have been any the wiser. They could have just started the movie with the scene about the Joker and ended the movie with a scene with the Joker, and we would have been good enough. And to top it off, one big issue with Jared Leto, I read an interview with him and doesn't really seem to understand the character he was playing. I mean, the thing is, folks, the last cinematic Joker we had was Heath Ledger. Heath Ledger nailed the role. He defined it. When he first appears on that TV screen torturing that fake Batman in Gotham, oh my god, that was his Joker. He defined his version of it in that moment. There really isn't any point that Jared Leto really defines his version of Joker. There is one point in the movie where you think, okay, we're about to see him, and then due to editing we don't get that, and then we get a little bit Heath Ledger here, and we get a little bit Jack Nicholson here, but we never really get a definitive Joker from him. And that was my biggest issue with that. Now, my other big issue was that there is a certain scene that happens with two of the characters, Rick Flag and the Enchantress. Apparently Cadmus sends them on a mission. We're never really clear what that mission is, so I can't really invest myself in it if I don't even know what the mission was supposed to be. And the thing is, the conclusion of that part of the storyline that resulted, it was such a resemblance to a certain favorite franchise of mine, I kept calling Enchantress and her brother Gozer and Vigo the entire time. And in fact, when they said in the movie, who else will save us from Superman, I whispered to Jake, Ghostbusters, because that's seriously the first thing that I was thinking. I mean, yeah, so those were really my biggest issues with it. I mean, I still enjoyed it for what it was, and I just want to throw in, by the way, as a pro, yes, I agree with Jay that Ben Affleck's Batman was actually, well, much more defined with just one or two scenes in this movie.
Alright, my negatives is, okay, first of all, I enjoyed Killer Croc's character, but I felt his proportions weren't very well done. His head looked a little too big, and he should have been much more bulkier and massive, like, and much taller, but I feel like they could have just had him fully CGI and then just had the actor just do the voice work over him, since he didn't have many lines anyway. The Slipknot, he didn't have much screen time, so what was the point? You saw him, like, posted on that PowerPoint presentation where Amanda Waller was talking with the counselor about her plan. You only saw him there, and then you saw him at the camp where Rick Flag was recruiting everybody, and then afterwards he gets knocked off. But I mean, I guess they did that because to show that they were serious about this mission, when they could have just shot them. Batman and Flash. Now, I was thinking about Flash more. The only time you see Flash in the movies where he's capturing Captain Boomerang, and that's all you see him. So what, is Flash like doing his own thing, and Batman, I guess, well, are they doing their own thing?
Yeah, you guys mentioned most of my cons, so hopefully I don't have to give that many more. But my biggest complaint was they advertised this movie as a team movie, and it's really not. It's really just Deadshot and Harley. Yes. And so I felt that the other characters didn't get nearly enough screen time or character development or anything like that. So I felt, and because we saw a movie earlier, Star Trek, which showed the team very well. It showed everybody got their chance to shine.
And we'll talk about that.
Yeah, and that proves that it can be done. You know, and you mentioned Guardians of the Galaxy, which shows you can have a lot of characters and give them plenty of screen time. This movie did not. No. And you mentioned Harley in her Jester outfit, which you like, which I liked as well. But to me, that felt like an insult to me, because I was like, because they're showing us that they can have Harley in this costume in this movie. We can do it, but we're not going to do it, so screw you. We're going to do our own thing. So that's the way I felt.
Again, it was either a hallucination or some type of dream sequence, so it wasn't like real.
So, and they showed her with her mallet, which was cool too, but she really she throws that away and picks up a bat. Why?
El Diablo. I mean, he was a cool character, but I feel like he didn't really represent the movie very well, because he didn't want to use his powers, because first of all, he actually killed his wife and children, arson, fire, which that's why Rick put him in jail. He suppressed his powers because he didn't want to use them, because he felt he was going to kill the rest of the members of the squad. And then later on, when he fought Vigo, he became this really cool beast, and that was really cool, but it just wasn't utilized very well.
Now, I want to say, I was confused. Did he die or not? I wasn't sure about that.
I think he did.
He sounded like he did, because he was like El Diablo, I guess.
His ultimate redemption.
Redemption to die because of killing his family.
He was set free, essentially.
Yeah.
And I will say that kind of made me mad, because I thought that he was the only character who had any kind of superpower, who was best at fighting Vigo, and he's the one that dies, and everybody else who's practically useless gets to live. So that was another complaint of mine.
And the last character I was talking about is Enchantress. What about her? I mean, do you think she was the real bad guy, or do you think Amanda Waller was more a bad guy because she is the one who kind of let Enchantress into the world?
I think it was a little bit of both. I was confused by her plot. I was like, what's she doing? Is she trying to destroy the world? Why does she need this machine to do it? And it's such a big, epic thing where all the heroes, they showed the Flash. Flash can stop a Captain Boomerang robbery, but he can't come to save the world. And Batman, and Wonder Woman, but
They must have been out doing their own.
yeah, I guess. The Suicide Squad, especially with characters with barely any powers like these ones had, worked better in a smaller scale, not some huge world-destroying scale. So
Agreed.
I think that would have made a better movie if it was some kind of terrorist or something like that.
And then there was an after credit scene. I thought the after credit scene was really mid credit scene more. It wasn't an end credit scene, which I feel like more movies just need to do a mid credit scene because a lot of times people don't want us to do the credits. But getting back to it, I think the mid credit scene was very well done. I enjoyed it. What do you think, guys?
The mid-credit scene I thought it was okay. You know, I just thought it was Batman, world's greatest detective, needs help from this woman to find out about these other characters. So I'm like, okay.
But it was build up to Justice League,
right?
More Justice League. I felt they did more justice in that than at the end of Batman vs Superman, where he's saying to Wonder Woman, saying to her, "Oh, I need to get these people who are in these files." I feel like telling Amanda was a better setup.
And I'm also confused about that. So, you know, I'm fairly certain Amanda knows that Bruce is Batman. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Which is also another weird thing, but oh well. So I think we should get our final grades in. Russell?
I'm going to give it a B-, and the reason is because, yeah, it did have a lot of flaws, but for what it was, I enjoyed it, and would I watch it again? Sure. It's enjoyable characters, it was fun to watch. Again, it was the best of all of them, not saying much, but it's, so B-, like I said.
Okay.
I'm going to give it a B, just because, like I said, it was a very enjoyable, but it's still DC has a long road to go to catch up, if it will ever catch up with Marvel. And because a lot of early Marvel movies I was giving very good grades to. I just feel like it's on the right direction, it's on the right path. And maybe with Zack Snyder on board for the movies, but not directing them and not writing them, I feel like this could be the right direction for DC. And you, Tony?
And I'm going to be the bad guy here, definitely again. I really didn't like it a whole lot, as much as you guys. I even, we've reviewed Ghostbusters, and I'll have to say, I like Ghostbusters better than this. And you know how much I dislike Ghostbusters.
Hey, Vigo and Ghost were in the movie.
Exactly. I mean, and they had better team building in that one as well, but... So, and I gave Ghostbusters, I believe I gave it a C-.
Wow.
So I'm going to have to go lower on this and give this a D.
Okay.
So, at least, and I believe that's higher than what I gave Batman vs. Superman and Man of Steel. So, like I said, they are in the right direction. So I'll give them that.
Would you say this one is a toxic neuter for you?
It could be, yes. Toxic neuter, our new thing. Yeah, so I guess that's it for us. I'm Tony Beers.
Russ.
And Jay.
And we'll see you next time.
See you next time.
This video is sponsored by the Crazy Kings of Toys. Check them out for all your toy needs and find out why they are so crazy. Find them on Amazon, eBay, Bricklink, and Facebook. Links are in the description. Toxic Pop has a new Facebook page. Like it to see pictures and keep informed about our upcoming events and videos. A link is in the description. Go to www.facebook.com/toxicpop1.